I'm the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs here at Regis. As Lisa already shared, we're very excited to welcome you as our incoming students to Regis. So the panel that we're about to begin, this panel is made up of staff and students from across campus and covers topics that we really hope will position you for success as you begin your Regis career. Elise will be moderating the chat during the panel, and we'll be sure to follow up with you on any outstanding or individual questions you may have. So to begin, I'll call on our panelists one at a time to introduce themselves. I'll begin with our staff panelists. So please introduce yourselves and your role here at Regis, and we'll begin with John.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see all of you and welcome you to be a part of this Regis family. Just want to let you know my name is John Hernandez. I am the Director of Residence Life. I use they, them, their pronouns. So glad to have you all here.
Thank you, John. Denise, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pride. My name is Denise Mashmasarmi. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Director for the Center for Inclusive Excellence.
All right, thank you, Denise. And now we'll introduce our student panelists. So panelists, please let everyone know your name, class year, hometown, and area of study. And we'll begin with Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a junior here at Regis. I'm originally from Worcester, Mass, and I'm studying social work here.
Thank you, Sarah. Nick.
Hello, everybody. My name's Nick. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a junior double majoring in exercise science and nutrition, and I am from Hudson, New Hampshire.
Appreciate it, Nick. Lila.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lila. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm a sophomore, so class of 2024. I'm from Lexington, and I'm a secondary education and English double major with a minor in art.
Thank you, Lila. And last but not least, Alexa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alexa. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm a senior class of 2022 here at Regis. I'm from the North Shore, Saugus, Massachusetts, to be specific. My major is nursing. My minor is neuroscience, and I am on a pre-physician assistant track.
Thank you, Alexa. And thank you all. All of our student panelists are orientation leaders. You'll hear us say OLs a lot. So that's just our way, again, that's just Regis talk for orientation leaders. And they'll be representing the student body in a variety of ways, and they'll be sharing about their involvement across campus. So now let's jump into some questions that we've prepared. So to begin, the first question is, as students make their transition to the Regis learning environment and are starting classes remotely, what are some things you found worked well for you when studying and participating in the classroom, both in person and virtually? And this question will go to Alexa and Lila.
Well, my study habits, regardless of in-person classes or online, have always been attending office hours with the professors, rewriting notes for repetition, and going to the library for tutoring. The transition can be scary, but having all these resources on campus to help you succeed made me feel more comfortable.
Yeah, just like Alexa said, there's a lot of resources here to support you guys when you come to Regis. And if you're struggling with anything, there's a lot of staff and faculty that can help you with whatever questions you might have. For me personally, one of the best things that I've found is talking to my professors one-on-one. That can be a little scary for some people, I know, but the staff here are truly here to help you succeed in any way that you need. So for example, I am a really big perfectionist when it comes to my writing. So I always go to my professors to ask for their feedback before I pass in an assignment. And they'll sometimes take the time out of their own busy schedule to help me with that. So they're super supportive, super accommodating. All the staff are wonderful people here.
Thank you. And the next question is will be for Sarah and Nick. So Regis offers numerous academic supports for all students at no additional charge through I always screw this up, forgive me, but the Fanugans and O'Sullivan Institute of Learning. What has it been like to work with the Tutoring Center, Writing Center, library, and/or academic coaches?
So one of the things I love about it is everything is found in the library. So that's like our one central hub. So as a student, if you're not sure where you can go to find these different resources, you know that everything can just be found in the library. So it makes it a lot easier for yourself as a student, gives you a little ease of mind. So that way you can then use those resources. I myself, I've made use of the Writing Center. I remember I took a freshman seminar class where we had to work on different papers throughout the semester. And this was a really great resource just because it's run by other students here that have gone through the same thing that you have. And they really understand what you're going through, and they're super, super helpful as far as helping you work along that process. So that way you can then submit it to be graded. And that goes the same thing with the Tutoring Center. Again, there's students here and also staff. They all understand what it is that you're going through. So again, just kind of reinforcing that you're not alone. Like, we have people here that understand the process, and they're here to help you all the way along the way. And with the library, it's great just because they have the 3 different floors, each one kind of honing in on its specific environment, whatever works for you as a student. So the first one being pretty social. So if you like more of a social environment while you study, that's a great space for you to be in, and you're going to find other people that kind of feel the same way. And then as you work up, it gets more and more private in that sense. So that way you can focus. It's nice because it tailors to your individual needs as a student.
Yeah, so basically, and I think Nick covered a lot of it, but one of my favorite things, especially freshman year, was the academic coaches, just because freshman year I kind of had like not much of an idea of how to stay organized, but it was really great to have them there to help support you. And they also have, depending on what you're looking for, they could help you with organization, they can help you with homework, they can help you just kind of get a grip on college life. I thought it was a great resource. And then on top of that, the Tutoring Center, I have a lot of friends who are actually students, and they help tutor people who were in their grade, below their grade. They're just there to kind of help support you. And for me, it's better to have somebody that's my own age kind of helping me, because I feel like they kind of know where you stand as far as like help goes, and they know what it's like to be actively a student here. So
thank you, Sarah. And the Institute of Learning we're referring to is oftentimes referred to as FOIL. So incoming students, keep that in mind. The next question will be for Denise and John. So we're happy to hear that Regis has many resources to support our students academically. We're wondering if there are any student leaders designated to assist with the transition at Regis.
Denise, if you want to go ahead and start, and I'll jump in right after you.
All right, sounds great. So yes, there are. We have a great mentoring program called the Partners in Excellence Mentoring Program. And so we have students who are peer mentors. These are upper level students, so second year to seniors, and they help guide first year and transfer students in acclimating to the Regis campus, getting to know the various resources. If you have the same major, they can, connect you with which professors, will be super accommodating to asking for help or whatever it may be. Whatever assistance you need, they are kind of like your one stop to connect with. If they don't know the answer, then they utilize the other resources on campus. But this mentoring program is one that's really great. Lila is one of our great peer mentors. And then myself, Jeff, and John actually co-direct the program.
Awesome. As the director of residence life, I get to work with some really special student leaders who are called resident assistants. These are individuals who are undergraduate students, people that are on your athletic teams, they're in your majors, They are involved in the same student clubs and organizations, but they applied to be specific student leaders within our housing department, and they live on each of the floors in each of the residence halls across campus. So they're going to be available to do programs and events for your particular floor, fun events that, you know, whether that's painting or whether that's playing video games or other activities for the particular residents in their building, or they're also available to address if you have any work order needs. If there's, you know, a light socket that is not working properly, or you're, you know, it's not as hot or as cold as you think it should be, they can work with our facilities department and the resident director for the building to make sure that your facility needs are being addressed. They're also there to serve as a resource, whether that is to address conflict within the residence hall, get you connected to a variety of campus resources, or just being a listening ear for the challenges of being just a student here at Regis, or a human in the world. And so they serve as a great resource, and are a definitely great person to connect with once you move on campus.
Thank you for that. I served as a resident assistant in college, and I recommend it as one of the many ways to lead on campus. Just something to think about, just putting it out there. The next question, we're going to tag you back in, Denise. So there's been a lot going on in the country around racial injustice. What is the role of the Center for Inclusive Excellence on campus, and what are some ways Regis supports students of color?
Yes, so the Center for Inclusive Excellence serves as our diversity, equity, and inclusion office on campus. We not only work with students, we work with staff and faculty. And so we really do our best to provide an inclusive and accommodating space where students feel comfortable, one, being in the space, comfortable with the staff that work in the center to come and share with us what you're going through, or you know, the different things going on in the world, have those conversations. And so we really pay attention to the climate of the institution. We have a listening ear with our great student leaders. So they'll kind of like tap into us and let us know what's happening. But also we have a great like bias response reporting system. So as those reports get made, it goes down the chain of command. And if it comes to our office, it's really just kind of like letting us know and alerting us, hey, this is going on campus. We need to take action. We need to hit the ground running type of thing. And so it's not just the Center for Inclusive Excellence. We work collaboratively with all the various centers on campus. And so Regis overall is just really great at responding to crisis, one. But when things just are looking very grim in the world around us, Regis is really a good community that comes together. So.
Well, thank you, Denise. And that is so huge considering the context that have been our reality in what seems like a heightened way over the last few years. The next question is for Nick and Lila. So Regis prides itself on giving students opportunities to learn inside and outside the classroom. Can you share a little bit about your co-curricular involvement, such as clubs or athletics at Regis, and how incoming students can get involved in the community?
So for me, I'm part of a lot of different clubs. I do a lot of different things on campus. You'll see me running around like a maniac sometimes, going from one thing to another. But one of the best things is that the Center for Student Engagement often advertises different things that clubs are hosting on campus. So it's really, really important that if you want to get involved on campus, you can attend these events. They're for anyone. You don't even have to be like interested in the club in general, but trying out different events is a really great way to discover things that you might not have tried to do beforehand. So one of the things that I did, for example, was the Creative Arts Club. I'm now on the e-board for that. But we host open mics, and I've never performed at an open mic, but my friends went with me. They encouraged me to do that, and I found I really enjoyed it. So getting involved on campus, just trying things out just a little bit, is a super great way to get to know not only other people, but also discover new things about your interests and likes.
As for myself, so I'm actually a member of the men's soccer team here at Regis. So what's really nice is it's a really great way to balance competitive athletics while also being able to have a focus on your academics, because that's a really big focus here at Regis. Obviously, we want to play at a high level, but at this level, we also want to make sure that we're staying focused on getting our education, because that's what we're all here for. And what's really nice about how they're set up here is even at the D3 level, you can reach out to any of these coaches if you want to participate. They don't always have to be the one to come out to you. I know for myself, I'm the one that emailed our coach Renato, and that kind of started the process here. So whether it's soccer or basketball or track or any other sport that you may be interested in, it's as simple as reaching out through email to any of those coaches, and that can all be found on our Regis Athletics page.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Lila. And just to highlight again, these clubs are open to you at any point in the year, so please keep them in mind as great ways to be engaged. In addition, our Student Government Association meetings are open to all students. It's a great way to have your voice heard and a great way to stay engaged. The next question is for Alexa and Sarah. So Regis is committed to giving students opportunities for professional development. Can you talk about how your experience has been with clinical placements, internships, and on-campus jobs?
Yeah, so as a nursing student, I take part in clinicals. We start clinical our sophomore spring and continue until senior fall. Senior spring is when we begin our preceptorship, which is a one-to-one assignment with the nurse instead of in a clinical group like we used to. I have attended facilities like the VA, Leahy Hospital, Boston Children's, Lawrence General, and I know other students have had clinical placements at Brigham and Women's, Mass General, Newton Wellesley, Bethany Healthcare Center, St. Elizabeth's, Emerson, Hebrew Rehabilitation, Holy Family, and Sturdy Hospital, just to name a few. Some on-campus jobs that I have been lucky enough to have are being a tutor at the Learning Commons, a Pride Guide, which is another name for a tour guide, and an orientation leader.
So as far as internships go, it looks a little bit different depending on what you're doing specifically. Like Alexa just said, she's a nursing student, so she takes part in clinicals. For me, being in social work, I'm in an internship, and I was lucky enough to be to get a placement that I enjoyed and actually got to choose myself. And you'll notice that when working with your fieldwork advisors, they kind of like leave it up to you and they listen to what you're asking for. So I wanted to work with women in a women's shelter, and that's what I had the opportunity to do. That just takes a lot of communication with your advisors. And they can recommend internships for you, but again, you have a voice to say that you want to go somewhere else. And honestly, it's a great opportunity for me. Technically, I'm in the 3-year program for social work, so I had to complete 400 hours this year, like my junior year, which is a lot. But again, they find a way to make it work with your class schedule. And it's really like being able, even though we're in the middle of the pandemic, the amount of work I've been able to do and participate in has been really life-changing and amazing.
Well, thank you for that. And actually, Alexa, we're going to direct this question to you. So we have many transfer students joining us today. Can you speak to how transfer students will be welcomed to the Regis community?
Yes, definitely. So there is a transfer welcome hosted by the Learning Commons on this upcoming Thursday, January 20th at 1 p.m. So if you are interested in attending, that is encouraged. And overall, Regis is a tight-knit community, and it's easy to find friends with common interests through clubs, classes, and the residence halls.
Thank you. The next question, I want to direct it to John. In high school, students may have had an individualized education plan or IEP. How do students meet with someone about accommodations that they may need to assist them inside the classroom? And also an added point to that question is, what is the process when students may need accommodations living in the residence halls or eating on campus?
Great question, thank you. So a couple of things. A lot of our students may have had access to an IEP in middle school or high school. One thing that students, I think, really should understand is, first and foremost, we're going to treat you like an adult. We are going to treat you as an individual and we're not going to have access to the IEPs that you've had in your past. So if you are needing an accommodation, which could be extended time on exams or assignments, it could be note-taking, it could be someone who is going to be typing your assignments for you. It could be someone who is reading a textbook to you because of your particular need. You'll be reaching out to our accessibility services office on campus. Courtney and Ludmilla are great staff who are very experienced in working with students on a variety of accommodations. They are the same individuals who you'd be working with if you are looking for housing accommodations. A lot of our halls do not have central air or air conditioning installed. And so students get to campus and see that, you know what, my allergies or my asthma is really being affected by this. I definitely encourage you to look at housing accommodations in regards to that. Some of our students, because of anxiety or other needs, might need to have a room to themselves, and that is okay. They would go reach out to Courtney and Ludmilla, and they would begin that process. Regardless of your accommodation needs, you'll work with our accessibility services office in addition with your primary care physician, your therapist, your pediatrician, etc., to provide the documentation that Courtney and Ludmilla need in order to approve your housing accommodations. If you have a service animal, or if you're wanting to bring in emotional support or a therapeutic animal, you'll also be working with our accessibility services office to make sure everything is taken care of. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me and I can get you connected to Courtney and Ludmilla, who'd be more than happy to support you.
Nice, thank you, John. So the last two questions will be directed to our students. The first of them is, what is your favorite thing about Regis? And let's start with Nick, and then we'll sort of go popcorn style from there.
All right. So for me personally, my favorite thing about Regis is just how welcoming the community is. So being on the soccer team, I came for an overnight visit, and that was the first thing I noticed, whether it was from my coach or from the captains at the time or the rest of the teammates as I met them. And then when I actually came here and started to make different friends from other groups and just meet everybody here, that was just the first thing that hit me, just how welcoming everybody was. It's a really great community. You're going to meet a lot of great people, like-minded people that want to excel in whatever it is that they're doing. And these are great people to surround yourself with. So I'd say that.
Thanks, Nick.
I can go
Let's
next.
go with, you got it.
I think my favorite thing, kind of like Nick said, is the people on campus. I've made a lot of friends who are very, very different from me, but because of that, they've opened my eyes to different ways of thinking and seeing things. So they've helped me kind of step out of my comfort zone. I've helped them with different things that like that. So we share each other's weaknesses and strengths, and with that, we empower one another. So it's really, really great. Everyone is super welcoming here because it is such a small community. And meeting such vastly different people is going to open your eyes to new experiences and help you grow as a person as well.
Thank you.
I can go next.
Oh,
Sarah, go.
no.
Yeah, we'll go Sarah, then Alexa.
Okay. I'd say my favorite thing about Regis is the same answer as the other two. Regis, the people are just amazing, and it's not even the friends you meet. The staff is amazing. I work a lot in counseling here at Regis, and I take advantage of those opportunities. Regis is just kind of a place that if you need something, there's always somebody to ask for help. And to possibly provide you with the things that you need. And I've met lifelong friends here, so.
I will conclude with saying nothing more surprising than, the people. The people at Regis makes it so special. Like, I know it sounds like cheesy at this point, but I'm going to be honest. The people are so supportive. They're so caring when it comes to academics on campus and like off campus life. Everybody here wants you to succeed. There's this common energy that's so uplifting. And I found that, they want you to, reach your goals, and they will help you to do so.
Thank you for that, Alexa. The last question, you all you started to allude to this a little bit. What is one piece of advice you want to give to the incoming students? And we can start with Lila.
Sure. I think the biggest piece of advice I can give, it sounds cliche, but it's truly to step out of your comfort zone. When I was in high school, for example, I didn't do any clubs. I was not involved on campus, nothing of the sort. But when I came to Regis, I really pushed myself to join a lot of clubs, get in a lot of leadership positions. And because of that, I've grown very, very quickly as a person. And now I think my high school self would be or would not recognize who I am today. But that's in a good way. So really getting out of your comfort zone is going to help you become your best self and eventually meet people as well who are going to help you grow as a person in the future as well.
Thank you, Lila. Let's go Nick next.
I think what's helped me a lot transitioning, whether for me personally, it was from high school into Regis, but whether you're coming in from another school, the big thing is just time management. Depending where you're coming from, you notice you might have a lot more free time. And how I can do that is by making use of any of the resources that we've all mentioned here, whether it's the Writing Center, tutoring, academic coaches, your advisor. We have a lot of great people here that are willing to help you. What's awesome is that they reach out to you, but it also helps if you take that initiative and make sure that you make use of those resources.
Thank you, Nick. Alexa.
So I came to Regis College as the only person in my grade at my high school to come to Regis College. So it was very overwhelming and scary to start to make new friends. And as a transfer student, I'm unaware if you guys already know people on campus, but if you don't necessarily, you are in the same boat that I was. So I decided to, not be afraid and let myself go out and explore. Like Nick and Lila are saying, there's multiple resources, a bunch of people on campus who want to get to know you. Just reach out, ask for help, say hi, join that club that you find interesting, because everyone at Regis is so friendly and welcoming. The opportunities are available for you. You just have to put yourself out there.
Thank you. And last but not least, Sarah.
So I guess the advice that I have is take it easy. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to be overwhelmed, especially in these times. Go easy on yourself. We have resources to help you. Take time. Like Nick said, we have more free time than we did in high school. So definitely just like take time for yourself and take advantage of it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Well, thank you all to our panelists for their insightful answers today. Thank you to Jeff for hosting our panel. Before we turn over the program to our orientation leaders for the student-to-student portion, I want to share some reminders with you. So I am just going to pull a slide up. So give me a second while I do that. And then we'll share some kind of administrative reminders for things as we head into the spring semester. All right, maybe it would be helpful if it wasn't a black screen, would be great. Let me see here. Try again. There we go. Can we see that? Looks good. Okay. So the first kind of topic I wanted to remind everyone of is our COVID-19 kind of reminders, policies, things to consider as you prepare for move-in in the start for classes. So important, our COVID-19 booster requirement. Regis did make the decision to require COVID-19 boosters for our community and those that access campus. So for our residential students, you need to have your booster administered prior to your move-in time. For those of you who are not moving into the residence halls or maybe are not moving into the residence halls immediately, the final booster deadline for access to campus is February 1st. So you do have to have it administered and uploaded to our COVID-19 management app, which is called Co-Verified. That's where you manage all of your vaccine records for COVID-19 specifically, your surveillance testing or like testing appointments if you're in our testing protocol, and other like symptom screening type things. So the booster is very important. There are testing requirements for access to campus. So our fully vaccinated students need to obtain a negative PCR test within 7 days of their return to campus. And our unvaccinated students who have an approved exemption need to obtain a negative PCR test within 72 hours of their return to campus. If you have been COVID-19 positive in the last 90 days, please contact health services to make sure that they have a record of that positive test result, because that will kind of implicate your ability to test within that 90-day period. So you won't necessarily have to do these testing requirements, but they do need documentation of that positive case in order to be able to make sure you are in compliance. Too far, there we go. Other exciting things, if you are a residential student and you are moving into the residence halls, you need to go to your Adirondack housing portal and you need to tell Residence Life when you are coming. They are so excited to have you, but you need to let them know when you are coming, what date and time. So our main move-in dates are the 16th and the 17th, this Sunday and Monday, when the Residence Life staff will be in the halls and they'll be prepared for your arrival. However, knowing that instruction is remote for the first 2 weeks, if you would like to move in at any time in those first 2 weeks, that is totally fine. But you do need to go in and select your move-in time in your Adirondack student portal. While classes are remote for the first 2 weeks, campus is open, our services are available to you, and that includes programming. So Welcome Back Weekend is January 19th through the 23rd. So we have some events that are taking place. We have a virtual big prize bingo on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Alexa mentioned our transfer welcome, which is happening in the Learning Commons and at the second floor of our library at 1 p.m. We have a paint night on Friday at 7. We'll be transforming part of campus into a roller rink on Saturday evening, and then we'll also have some make and take DIY bamboo on Sunday. So very exciting. We also have some MLK programming happening kind of on the front half of that week. I might ask Denise to jump in and chat a little bit about the offerings there. But regardless of like the events, you can find event information on the Regis Life _MA Instagram, as well as the This Week at Regis newsletter, which goes out every Monday. This upcoming week, because of the holiday, it's going to be Tuesday, but directly to your inbox, you will get an engagement newsletter every week that kind of tells you what to look out for regards to events or like upcoming involvement opportunities. But I'll throw it to Denise to talk a little bit about the MLK schedule.
Yes, hi again, everyone. So for MLK week on Monday specifically, we will be having 2 service opportunities. So from 11 to 1 on campus in the lower student center, we will have mural painting. We have these 4 extremely large murals that represent the values of Regis. And so folks will be coming in and painting those. And then from 2 to 3 p.m., we have letter writing for justice with Dan Leahy, and that's going to happen in the 2nd floor of St. Joseph in the Kearns Conference Room. All this information will be on the website and the calendar. In addition to that, on this beautiful walkway in this picture, there is the Maria Hall building. So you pass by it if you're on campus walking from the student center, if you're near the library, anytime you're going to any of the buildings within that central area. And so we will have a pop-up MLK gallery in the windows of Maria Hall for the week, as well as some educational content on social media at Regis Inclusion.
Thank you, Denise. And I think John has an announcement for us as well.
Hello. So if as you're going through today and you're connecting with orientation leaders, or if you had a positive experience during your guided tour with our Pride Guides, or if you have a positive interaction with your RA after you move in and you realize, you know what, I wish I could be one of them. We are currently accepting applications for our various student leader positions on campus. Applications for our Pride Guides, our orientation leaders, and our RAs is due January 31st. If you are interested in one of these three positions, please reach out to Elise, please reach out to me. You can also reach out to Jeff or Denise, and they'll be happy to get you the information on how to apply for a student leader position here at Regis.
If you have questions, if you need to connect about any of the opportunities that we talked about today, the easiest way to get a hold of me, besides my personal email, but it might be easier to remember this one, orientation@regiscollege.edu. If you send an email there, it'll get to me and I will be happy to connect you to any of the services, any of the opportunities we talked about, or anything of that nature. So just remember that email, really easy, orientation@regiscollege.edu. So there is one question that came through in the chat. So I am going to answer that while I kind of change some of the settings on the call to get it prepped for the orientation leader led session. I'm going to stop recording and hand it over to the OLs. The question that came in through the chat is regards to the student ID process. If you have not already requested your student ID by emailing IDs at regiscollege.edu. That is where you can submit your photo for your ID and they will print it for you. There is information for how to do that in your online orientation modules that should have been sent to you via email. You can log into those and they take you through things like requesting your student ID, submitting any outstanding health forms, some information about financial aid, those kinds of things. If you need help accessing those modules and you haven't done it yet, you can email again, orientation@regiscollege.edu, and I'll make sure you get the link for those. But please request your student ID. If you're moving in this weekend and you do it as soon as we end this call, your RD staff should be able to pick that up from you from the desk and have it available during your move-in time. Otherwise, during regular business hours, you can just stop by our Center for Student Services, which is located on the second floor of College Hall, right across from the foyer. It's a big kind of landmark in College Hall. You won't be able to miss it. And you can kind of pick it up at any time if you're one of our commuter students. So I hope that answered questions about the ID process. But again, if you have more specific questions or need to follow up, orientation@regiscollege.edu is the place that you can find me. So I'm going to thank our staff that were on the panel and dismiss them. Like I said, I'm just going to change some of the settings and make one of our OLs the host. And then I will say goodbye to you, and you are in wonderful hands. Our OLs are here to answer any student to student questions you have, as well as kind of facilitate some introductions and hopefully help you make some new friends. So thank you, panelists, for your time today.
Thank you. Welcome again, everybody, to the Pride.